Yeah, there we go. Let's do this. Let's go straight in and... this is going to be problematic. Ah, troll, save me. Haha. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit easier. Let's try and take out the veterans as fast as I can't really do much. I don't have a shield, so I really do need to get to the walls. Hello and welcome back to the last days, and here we are. We're going to be attempting to eliminate Rohan in this particular episode. I obviously don't have too much control over that because it is very much dependent on whether the AI wants to do that or not. This is under the cover of darkness, however, and hopefully that's going to make a pretty significant difference to how effective our enemies' archers are going to be in terms of their accuracy and so on. So let's just see if I can maybe get a couple of kills along the way here. I have so many arrows, I might as well try my best. And maybe my best is going to be enough to be able to get those kills. As you can see, we're seemingly eliminating quite a few. Not getting any headshots, which I've got to say is a little bit disconcerting. It's a bit strange that I'm not getting any headshots, considering. But, you know, as we've so far found out, I'm not entirely sure why my accuracy is so bad, but I think it is, in general, as we've done some testing on it, not because of my shield, not because I had a shield equipped or anything like that, but it is more due to the fact that the bow itself just has a low accuracy rating, or it has a relatively low accuracy rating in comparison to what you might expect to find in the hands of an elf. And obviously you would expect an elven longbow or an elven bow of any kind to be much more accurate than what you're going to get in the hands of a man from Rune, of course, because let's face it, we're probably not the most refined craftsmen, are we? And we might not even have the greatest materials to work with or anything like that, so yeah, it's a little bit more of a case of, well, just make do with what you get, and then just try your very best, and that's exactly what we're trying to do right here. I'm murdering everything that I can, and hopefully I'm going to be able to... Oh, yeah. Oh, no, very nice, very nice. I'm actually not taking any damage so far, which I got to say is almost unheard of, because in Warband, the enemy does tend to focus you, and that is obviously you as the player. They do tend to focus you quite a bit. In certain situations, they're going to try and eliminate you as fast as possible, because if you get eliminated, then it's more likely that you're going to retreat, especially if you don't have any mods installed or anything like that, because most mods, if they're thinking of you in a sort of positive way, they're going to have the after-death camera enabled, whereas some mods don't allow you to have that, and that just increases the difficulty of these various encounters. And that's the thing, there are a lot of difficult mods out there, and they allow you to have the after death camera, and I think that you can make a mod challenging without needing to make it unnecessarily infuriating, shall we say, by having those moments where you get eliminated and then you're all of a sudden, oh, I have to retreat away from this? Well, that's kind of sad, isn't it? That's the kind of situation that you don't really want to be in. But there it is. Hornburg has been eliminated, has been razed, as you could see there. And we are now going to be moving on elsewhere. This was actually Jarl Helkaroth and his vassals. Obviously, I'm one of them, so I mean it kind of makes sense. I mean, generally you're not that beholden to any particular faction at all. Like, for example, I technically, when I first started the game, I could have been a man, and I could have gone all the way down to Mordor, and then I could have just been like, okay, I'm gonna be a Mordorian man, basically just being like, hey, what's going on here, you know, sort of thing. And I didn't even have to, you know, stay with Rune or anything like that if I didn't want to. As far as I'm aware, it's very, very adaptable in that sense. So that I gotta say, that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's move on over here. We have some Dunlendings around here as well. Westfold is actually under siege. Apparently it was under siege, but is now no longer, which is somewhat unfortunate. Would have loved to have been able to eliminate yet another fief that soon after the previous one. So let me actually just see if I can make one of these. Yep, there we go. I can make another werewolf. That's really good. And what's really cool about having these advanced camps right here is that I have literally only I've basically been able to go there, get units, and then come right back to the war front. And that really makes a huge difference to the overall staying power of you as the player. So it really makes a massive, massive difference. Anyway, I'm gonna just take a look around it. Okay, yeah, so they only have 4 fiefs remaining. Oh, Eastfold is actually under siege? Okay, this is really strange, I gotta say. Oh, hello. Wait a minute. Hello there. I will be attacking you, sir. I hope you don't mind. Yes, okay, this is actually kind of rare. Usually I'm not able to get into a battle by myself these days. Usually I am always going to be accompanied by some vassal or another, because usually they're going to be taking such an active role in attempting to eliminate the opponent that they're always going to be nearby. But in this one, it's a one-on-one. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so unfortunately, obviously Rohan, as we know, they're very good when it comes to their mounted units, and they're already making their way across the river, which I'm not a big fan of. Thank you very much. I'm going to try and take out this guy's horse. Yep, there we go. Success. And take out that guy's horse. Very good. Okay, yeah. Basically, anytime I can take out a horse, that is a victory in a very minor way, but it is still a victory nevertheless, because being able to remove the mobility of these extremely proficient horse archers, and you may not think so, but Rohan actually has some decent horse archers, and they're obviously not going to be as good as elves in any way, because let's face it, they're men, and men are never going to be as good as elves. You know, that's just how it is. And obviously the tier, if you were to put them in a tier list, then you would have the elves as the S tier, you know, in terms of archery, of course. And maybe a bunch of other categories as well, but I'm only talking about horse archery at this point. And then obviously you would have men and so on, you know, in like B tier, I guess, because you can't really put them as A tier, in my opinion. You know, they're just not that good. They're okay, you know. I would definitely say that Rune, if anyone, would probably be in the A tier, but I'm still going to put them in the B tier in terms of horse archery. And then obviously you have the obligatory Uruks, Orcs, and Goblins, and they are going to be in the C tier, or maybe even in the D tier, because let's face it, they're really, really not very good at basically doing anything that requires a high level of skills. So yeah, that's basically how I see, you know, how I see the last days. So, as it says in the very beginning of the character creation, usually if you're gonna create an elf, you're probably gonna have a pretty easy campaign, you know. But that's the thing. It's balanced in such a way that it makes a huge amount of sense, because yes, okay, elves are indeed very strong individually. If you put one orc against one elf, it's more than likely the elf is going to win. However, that's never really how it is. There's never going to be a 1 versus 1 situation where there's going to be an elf fighting against one orc. You know, usually that's not how it's going to be. So that's where it obviously comes in, that the enormity that the orcs tend to throw at their opponents, that's extremely important to take into account. So obviously, when you're outnumbered as the elves, I remember in my elf campaign that I played through, that was actually quite difficult to begin with, because I had this situation. Where I'm basically walking around and I'm thinking to myself, okay, how do I level these guys up? Because obviously they take a pretty reasonable amount of time to level up. Skillful units generally tend to take a lot longer to level up than those that are not skillful, right? You know, that's just how the balancing works. And so I eventually just had to take the losses, if there were any, obviously, because most of the time I would much prefer not to take any losses at all. I'm just going to disengage here real quick, because I don't really want to attack at night, and Eastfold is no longer under siege, but if we can eliminate this vassal, then we're going to be in a very, very good position. I just don't want to allow him to get into Eastfold, if at all possible, so I'm just going to basically try to cut him off here, and now we can head on in. So this guy's got 124. But anyway, as I was saying, so basically I had, I think I remember a very specific point in the campaign where I had about 20, 25 elven units, and I was trying to figure out how I could actually level them up without them getting, you know, needlessly slaughtered, because I had a number of times where I actually had big problems, and yeah, it was quite a challenge at that point. However, once you get once you get past that point, then you're going to have a pretty easy time, because obviously my first playthrough was an Uruk, and Uruks, oh, they're fun. They're really, really fun to play with. But again, that also takes a little bit of getting used to, because you've got to think to yourself, okay, these units are not going to last long. You know, basically they're almost like throwaway units almost, most of the time. And that's something that you've got to get your head around. And then if you play an elf next, right after that, then you're going to have to get your head around the fact that most elves, you can't just throw them away randomly. You know, you've got to treat them as though they are very rare, and you know, just try to be very, very careful with them. And yeah, okay, I do understand that, you know, AI units like vassals and so on, they're not really going to be that, shall we say, adhering to those rules. They're not going to do the same thing that the player character has to abide by. And generally that is just because they want to keep the action flowing as much as they possibly can. And that's understandable in many different ways, because you don't really want to, if you are indeed a member of the elves, have a situation where the elves are basically non-existent. But generally I don't think that would happen if you're playing even just an average campaign. You know, an average campaign is more than likely going to be okay as long as the player character is assisting their chosen faction in some way or another, and you shouldn't have to worry too much about them getting eliminated, unless you're Moria, of course. Unless you're Moria, because they generally tend to have a pretty difficult time of things most games. Can I kill this guy? Get him! Oh, I got him! Did you see that? Oh, wow, okay, was actually not anticipating hitting him there, but there you go, we actually did. Now let me see if I can hunt down this guy as well. He's being a bit annoying. Let's get him. Ah. Yeah, this is not actually that good, this weapon. The reach is a little bit less than what I was using beforehand, but I still prefer the visual effect of this particular weapon over the other one. Because even though the other one is pretty menacing looking, I feel like this definitely has a rune kind of feel to it, you know what I mean? It's kind of visceral and a bit brutal, and that's the kind of thing that you would expect a rune warrior of sorts to be able to use in battle. And there's another hit. Wow, look at that. That was actually a moving shot as well. I can't believe it. Look at that. Pretty nice. And we're actually only suffering a couple of wounded now. Have you noticed that? How most of the time whenever we go into a battle now, most of our units are only suffering unconsciousness rather than being killed. So I'm not entirely sure why that is, to be honest, because I don't know whether you remember, but a number of episodes ago I was complaining pretty hard about how Ziegfel's surgery skill was not actually being taken into account, and a lot of our people were being eliminated. But it seems like in these last few battles we seem to be doing quite nicely. But again, I think that is mostly due to the fact that the way that the battles work in Warband is if someone else, so for example a vassal, goes into a particular battle before you, then you're gonna have to deal with their level of surgery skill, and usually it is terrible. So that's a bit of a problem, especially in sieges like this one. Hornburg. If you don't know what Hornburg is, well, it's Helm's Deep as far as I'm aware, and now we're up against King Theoden. Let's see if we can take him down. Yep, there it is. That I personally really love the attention to detail, and the fact that we are so close to Helm's Deep technically right now, and you can actually see it. I think that's really nice. Anyway, let's just tell all of our guys to just charge straight on in here. There's basically no reason for us to be super cautious here. King Theoden, oh, he almost impaled me right there. That was not very nice of him, I gotta say. Let's see if I can maybe do some damage to some of their horses. As I say before, The horse is pretty much a secondary weapon for Rohan. Same thing with runes. So if you can take these guys off their mounts, you're pretty much removing one of their weapons. And it really makes a huge difference. Obviously, if you can kill the rider, then go for it, you know. Definitely do that instead of killing the horse. Because, let's face it, a dead unit is much better than a dead horse. But still, sometimes you're just not capable of it. Like me, I might be, you know, might be capable of it at some point. You know, sometimes you're going to have a much better time of hitting people in certain situations than you would in others. And if you are going to have a difficult shot to make, or a different slash or bash, or whatever, then it may be a better idea to just go for the horse. But there you go. I think this is definitely going to be a victory for us. I mean, we outnumber King Theoden's forces by such a great deal that we should be absolutely fine. But I still have to be a bit cautious here, because I do not want to get eliminated myself. I would much rather stay alive as much as I possibly can to maintain my health. And if I can maintain that, then we might be able to even go in and help out in the upcoming siege as well. And that's what's been missing a little bit from the last couple of episodes. I generally tended to get eliminated quite a lot, and in this particular episode, I don't seem to be having too many problems with that. But shush, because you never know. I might be jinxing myself right now, and I'm probably going to get shot in the face and then killed immediately. Bear in mind, I have no shield, of course, so, you know, projectiles are very strong against me. And I'm not looking forward to fighting against units that use throwing weapons at some point in the future. And no doubt we're going to be facing them sooner rather than later. But there you go, there's one enemy remaining. He's just over here. Where is he? Never mind, he's been eliminated. The elite skirmisher of Rohan has fallen. And albeit rather bravely attempting to defend his homeland, is not enough today. So let's see, there we go, let's move on. Good quality metal scraps. I'm going to need to get more food relatively soon. This is really bad, by the way. Have you noticed? Look at this. What are these guys doing, by the way? Look at how little they have here. This is really not very good. Just look at that, 42 and 55. I mean, come on now. That is really bad. So I'm actually going to go to the Dunlander camp, because there's basically no point in me sticking around here. The Dunlendings are kind of useless. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing, to be honest. So, a bit strange. Because they seem to... Look at this. They have a pretty significant war campaign currently running around here with about almost 300 units, I think. And they don't seem to be doing much with it, which is a little bit strange. But yeah, you could see here that generally what I have attempted to do is try to go to various places to buy food ahead of schedule, because you don't want to be in a situation where you completely run out of food. Because in those situations, that is kind of difficult to recover from. I don't know whether you've noticed that, but whenever I have run out of food, maybe I haven't actually shown that on screen, but generally what will happen is I will have to go to almost every available port to be able to buy supplies from there. And even when I've done that, it is still relatively difficult to fill out your inventory with actually useful items. So there's also that. Anyway, I'm thinking I'm gonna go and get some people. And yes, okay. So they've actually started to get some better units this time around. Okay, so a little bit of backstory on that. Basically, I went to the advanced camp a few in-game days ago, just before I started recording. And basically what happened was there were just recruits in there. Yeah, they were just recruits. So I just had to make do with those and then level them up through battles and trainer skill and what have you. And that has worked out quite well so far. But yeah, obviously, if you were to go to the rune base camp or something like that, then you're going to have a much easier time of things recruiting people from the barracks there. Anyway, let's see. Anything under siege? Eastfold, not under siege. Edoras, no, it's absolutely fine. Okay, all of these are absolutely fine. Minas Tirith has still not fallen, which I gotta say is extremely impressive. It seems like Pelagia is just about going to fall, potentially. If it does, that's going to be a very significant blow to Gondor's combat strength, and I'm thinking I might actually try to travel down there, see if I can maybe participate a little bit in that attack. I don't think it's going to be possible, to be honest. Westfold has now been besieged by Master Berza. He's done that before, by the way. When I was off screen buying food, he was doing that almost daily, pretty much. And it was not that useful. Ah, there we go. Never mind. Pelagia has actually now been taken, so I do not need to do a thing. We do have a couple of Gondorian vassals going off to the left here, so I wouldn't have minded actually trying to fight a couple. Hello there. Hello. Okay. Wait a minute. Yeah. The prince is indeed there. He might be problematic. Yeah, he's obviously being accompanied right there. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything against him, unfortunately. My army size is not enough. I feel, at least at the moment, I don't think it is. Ah, Master Bolg. He might be a little bit less flaky than Master Berza, because Master Berza seems to be someone that starts a siege and then runs away, 2 moments later, even when he has a huge amount of units around him. So I'm thinking I'll go and speak to Master Bolg and see if I can maybe force him into going in, if there's good enough numbers surrounding him, that is, because there might not be. Ah, there we go. Look, see now, this is, yeah, look at this. This is exactly, look, there we go. And Master Berza has been defeated. Yeah, so this is exactly what I was talking about. This is a perfect situation to be in. Hello there. I will not forget how we did this thing together, and I will also not forget how we bought that sofa from IKEA and built it together, Master Bolg. Oh yes. I remember very vividly how he did that. Wonderful, wonderful job. Okay, so anyway, can I not actually tell him to do that? Yes. There we go. Eastfold. Boom. Attack. Yeah, there we go. Let's do this. Let's go straight in and... this is going to be problematic. Ah, troll, save me. Haha. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit easier. Let's try and take out the veterans as fast as I can't really do much. I don't have a shield, so I really do need to get to the walls. There we are. Okay, now let's see if I can maybe just shoot a couple of people very, very simply like this. Oh, that guy's dead. That's wonderful. That guy should also die. Thank you. Yes. Okay, they're running around a little bit here. Let's try and take out that guy. Oh, an elite skirmisher. Yes, that was a nice kill right there. Yeah, we basically have enough proficiency now to basically kill pretty much anything really, really swiftly. Maybe even in one hit most of the time, which is really nice. I'd like to kill that guy if I can, but it doesn't seem like that is happening. Nice headshot right there. Okay, so the gate has already been breached. How many units have already fallen for the enemy? Wow, actually almost 40 in such a short span of time. Pretty nice. Let's try and see if I can maybe take out a couple more people. I still have 44 arrows, so I should really make the most of them, shouldn't I? I really wish there was some way that we could get onto the battlements without us actually having to go through the front gate, because this is going to be extremely bloody for us to do this. Come on, troll. No. Yeah. Go in there. Don't. Oh, careful of your head. Careful of your head, sir. Okay, well, whatever the case, let's try and see if I can maybe take out this guy. Nice. Oh, this guy's... Oh, that's gambling himself. Did you see that? I hit him for so much damage, and even though he had absorption, it made no difference in the end. We were able to deal so much damage to him. That was great. No. Oh, yeah, the troll. He's doing stuff. He's doing things. I like it. Let's get in there. Let's get in there, guys. Come on. Let's go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, here we go. Nice. Can't believe I actually made it inside without even getting killed. Look at that. Okay, let's just kill these fellows. Hello. Don't worry about me. I have a large pulverizing weapon for me to use against you. Thank you. Ah, oh dear. I'm dead. Am I dead? Almost. Let's try and take out as many people as I can. I'm a berserker. Yeah. There we go. That was fantastic. Oh, seems like no one is following me. This is very strange. Okay. Well, hello there, sirs. I will attempt to murder you as swiftly as I can. Ah, shot one of my own troops. Fantastic. Ah, well, never mind. That's bound to happen. I mean, have you ever seen that, by the way? Have you ever seen that in one of the Lord of the Rings movies? Have you ever seen that? Some of the orcs killing each other? Yeah, probably, right? Surely. Surely they do that. A little bit. Maybe a little bit. Is it lore accurate? No, probably not. Maybe? Well, not shooting them. I guess they might. Yeah, you know what? I can definitely see one of the Uruk leaders shooting some orcs just because he's infuriated that they're in front of him. You know? Something like that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah, that would actually make a lot of sense considering they are quite vicious, those guys. And I say quite because they are obviously amicable gentlemen when you invite them to a dinner party. Aren't they? Yes. I mean, if there's man flesh on the menu, then it should be actually okay, right? Anyway, this troll is an absolute hero, as you can see. He is still alive, if you can believe it, and he is still swinging, which is actually fantastic. Wonderful. Very good. That was actually remarkably good, even, and I am extremely surprised that we were able to do so well without even getting murdered. And I might, you know what, I might even say that Rohan might even be a C-tier faction at this point, because they don't seem to really have that much punch. And I know me saying that now is a bit ironic, considering they've actually eliminated me multiple times in the last few episodes, but in this episode they've been almost useless against us, and they haven't eliminated me not even once, which is very surprising. I don't know why that would be, but there you go. Anyway, we have a number of people here. For example, canned. We could get some canned people. We could get some outriders. I'm actually thinking I might try to take every single one of these, but I don't have any resources for Harad at all. So they're probably going to leave relatively fast, which, do I care about? Probably not, actually. Probably not. I don't really care too much about them. If they do want to leave, then that is obviously their prerogative. They can decide whatever they want to do. But generally, I don't think I have enough. Can I can actually upgrade them? What? Okay. That's kind of strange as well. Anyway, I think I can probably speak to Zigafel now and hopefully get another wolf. Yep, there we go. Let's make a Lancer of Rohan into that. Thank you very much. And there we go. Okay, everyone is looking pretty nice. We have raised this. I'm actually wondering if Minas Tirith is going to come under siege. No, okay, that's not coming under siege at all. Seems like it's really weird, actually, how Gondor has not done anything about the Corsair camp, because I would have expected 100% for them to be able to take that. But I suppose Mordor has been very active in defending those particular fiefs, because I suppose they know if Gondor is able to eliminate these little usurper factions in and around the area, that then Gondor can basically just focus on Mordor itself, and that's going to make, well, everything much harder for them. So yeah, because obviously if you just eliminate these factions, 1, 2, 3, if you eliminate those 3 factions, they have, I don't know, 5, 6 vassals each. So let's just say that there's, like, I don't know, 15 to 20 vassals that you could eliminate if you just took out those 3 places. So, you know, strategically, it obviously would be a great idea. Okay, yeah, so Umbar and Harad will soon reassign some of their troops away from your party. Yeah, that is to be expected, and that's exactly what I was expecting, actually. So, no doubt that will happen relatively shortly, which I really don't mind that much. Now let's tell all of our forces to charge in here, because we are now going to be fighting against the last remaining remnants of the Rohan army, and maybe I'll be able to do a little bit of damage with my bow here before they meet our forces in battle. Although, maybe not. Maybe, yeah, I'm just gonna go into the, I'm gonna die. Yes. I was saying, oh yes, they're a C-tier faction now, they must have heard me. Now they are starting to absolutely murder me. And obviously, I am running into every single stone in the history of the world. Yes. Not the Philosopher's Stone, but I am going into a lot of the different stones right now. So, probably have to be a little bit careful about that. But thankfully my forces are now catching up. So, Yeah, I'm at 1% HP. Aren't I? Is that 1% HP? Can I rally? Does rallying make a difference to my HP? No, it doesn't seem like it. Oh well, never mind. Okay, I guess I'm just going to shoot this guy. Who's this? King's Guard. Whoa, he looks really, really good. He looks fancy. Fancy as nothing else. That's really pretty nice. Oh, shoot that guy. Thank you. Okay, he's been taken down. I think he's dead. Let's try and take out a couple of these guys. That was... Oh, look at that. That was another vassal. Fantastic. Nice. Eliminating those is always good. That really does a massive amount of morale damage. And we seem to have another person here that is attempting to do damage to our forces. Try and eliminate him if I can. I'm taking huge risk right here, by the way, because obviously if I get eliminated now, that's not very good, but I don't know whether it really makes that much difference, considering our forces quite clearly have the advantage. Well, that seems to be it, actually. I'm actually kind of wondering where the vassals are, because you can see here that there's still a pretty sizable contingent, I was going to say. Yeah, it's a pretty sizable contingent of forces, and there you go. That is the first time I've been eliminated in quite some time, at least in this episode, and I wasn't really being that careful, so I think it's quite nice to finally see them get a little bit of revenge for the marauding that we've done so far in Rohan territory. I mean, we've eliminated multiple vassals. We've been part of multiple sieges so far, and they haven't really had an answer to us yet. And indeed, sure, they don't have an answer for my forces, but they definitely have an answer for me. And I suppose this is the MVP. Right here. Yep, it's the rock. Yep. Yeah, it's the rock that actually stopped me from riding around. That's the MVP right there. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this particular battle and for this particular episode. And next time, we're going to be entering the siege of Helm's Deep, or AKA known as Hornburg, in the last days, and we'll see what's going on with that. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.